It was a big shame. It was very good fun to do, but it had... I mean, it was a Granada effort, and I'm afraid to say it was just too expensive. It's a very lavish thing, and you know, all the cars and the suits and the dresses and the big country houses.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
And it was also, in fact, we ran through the plots so quickly because they decided to do, I think it was the right decision, but they decided to do away with the voiceover, the first person, Bertie's first person narrative. And that meant that we were ripping through these, we would do a novel in about an hour. And we would do sort of 4 short stories in an hour. And after 23 hours of it, we had, I'm afraid to say, we'd sort of done Woodhouse, really. And also we started to notice the same plots coming around again, which is a bit embarrassing,
it was
you know.
a very successful series, though. You know, it might be repeated, and that's worth watching it a second time round.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Is it easier doing something like that than, you know, doing the stand-up bit in front of an audience, either solo or with Stephen?
Oh, well, that particularly was just glorious to do. I mean, the scripts, I always thought, right from the first moment, I thought the scripts were absolutely fantastic.
They were.
I mean, funnily enough, the difficult bits were the funny bits, because those were the bits that made me worry a lot, because, you know, you feel like you have these sort of diamond things that you have to, they're so precious and you have to get them right. But actually the scripts was such fun to do.
I mean, it doesn't look like as if it's made for you, that you wear the whole thing like a suit.
Well, the suit was made for me, and it really was great fun to do. Yeah.
But you are a worrier, though, aren't you?
I'm a bit of a worrier.
Yeah. So actually to do something in front of a live audience would worry you far more than actually having to...
I have to look them in the eye. Yes, no, it is. I do worry a lot. Yeah. There are pills you can take, beta blockers and things, but I do worry a lot. Yeah, yeah.
Why did you choose to do that? Because, I mean, there you
exactly.
were. You went to
Cambridge. What kind of business
Cambridge,
am I in?
Anthropology, and everybody's looking for anthropologists these days.
Yeah, there's a mad rush on.
What they're looking at, and what were you planning to do when you were studying anthropology? What was going to be the end thing, you know?
Do you know, I still haven't got a decent answer for that
We had this discussion on the way out of our hotel room this morning. What does an anthropologist do? Well,
yeah,
you know.
I'm probably not the person to ask. They study man.
That's what I said, actually.
They study man. Well, they're a very earnest bunch of people who go out and examine the nature of human existence.
I mean, you don't come from a showbiz background. Your dad's your local GP, you know, mine's a dentist, you know, I don't know about your dad. Mine was straight as a die, you know.
Yeah,
and there was none of this sort of showbiz, you know.
No, very little. There's absolutely no showbiz thing. It's a strange thing. I don't know really where it came from. And
as a child, did you like to sort of, you know, were you the one that wanted attention all the time or jumped up and down and tried to make the others laugh? Because you're a family of 4 children, aren't you?
Blimey. Yeah, yes. You've done your homework.
He's the youngest of the 4 by 6 years, I think.
This is incredible. This is actually slightly spooky. Yes, that's right. Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, my brothers and sisters may say differently, but I don't think I was like that. I mean, I remember them all being funny. I remember them making me laugh a lot. And, you know, we did laugh a lot as a family. And that was fun. You know, trying to make each other laugh was good fun. But I don't think I was the one doing Liza Minnelli routines at breakfast or anything. I am now, obviously, but I wasn't then.
So
how did you get... You were involved with the Cambridge Footlights, and that's how you met Stephen?
That's right, yeah.
Were you pals outside the Footlights, or was it as a result of the Footlights?
No, bitter enemies. Yeah, no, well, in fact, I gave him his first job, as it goes. I mean, I got him into the Footlights I mean, he'd been a straight actor at university, and he played a lot of he played decrepit kings, because he looked about 65 at the age of 20. And so he was always getting the part of the king.
Did he dress a bit like Jeeves?
He was quite starchy, actually, then. He's now gone, as he's got older, he's gone a bit more leather jackety and T-shirty. It's a bit sad, really, but when he was 20, he was quite tweedy and almost starched collars, yeah. Yeah, in fact, I think he smoked a pipe.
Really?
Briefly. I talked him out of it. I talked him down. Said, Stephen, look, it's not that bad, come on. Put the pipe away.
But that story about that review, certainly the Cambridge Footlights, we went to see the film Peter's Friends, and I must admit, I didn't know what the film was about before I went. I thought, well, because you were in it and Stephen was in it, this is going to be a comedy. There was a great deal of laughter in it, but also a lot of sadness too, and I thought it was an excellent film.
Did you like it?
Really did like it, very much indeed.
It seems a tad biographical, having read, you know, you and Steve, now you got together.
Well, only from the
and all
point that
sort
they
of
were
thing.
friends, really, wouldn't you say?
Well, didn't it start off with that sort of university party thing?
Yes, I suppose it was. And in fact, it was written. It was written by two people, but one of them had been in the Footlights, and so it was actually more his autobiography than mine. But I suppose there was an element of that.
But your portrayal, particularly because of having been the father of twins and you'd lost one of those twins, it was how you were coping with a surviving child.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got children of your own, as we have, and I think you probably put yourself in that situation and think, how on earth would I cope with that? But it came across really well.
Absolutely.
Oh, wet buckets.
Did you really?
Yes.
Well, it was a very. I mean, I did that scene and that part playing with Imelda Staunton. I say playing with. That's a technical term. I don't mean playing.
In a biblical sense.
I mean, yes. And you know, she is just an awesome actress, absolutely brilliant. And I felt, honestly, I know actors say this kind of thing, but I really did feel very lucky to be doing it with her, because it was like I got my coat trapped in a car door and I was just being sort of dragged along, because she's so, you know, she's so brilliant.
You are one hell of an actor.
Oh, stop it.
Please.
You're so blooming humble.
With your Irish flannel.
Yeah, you're very good. I mean, just looking at the Jeeves and Mustard thing and panning in on the eyes and that look on your face and everything, which says a million things when you're the Prince in Blackadder and so on. You're so blooming modest.
And now a book to boot as well.
A book.
And as I said to you, actually, in fact, I started because obviously we don't have a great deal of time to read through all these. I thought, well, I shall flip through and I shall see the plot. And actually, once I started reading it, I don't know what page I'm on, but I'm into like at least halfway through this. I sat and read it for a straight 2 hours. It's excellent, very funny.
Really?
Very funny, but also there's a very serious, there's a lot of, I say a lot of violence. I mean, there's quite a...
It's a thriller, dear.
Well, of course it is, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that, because while I was writing, I didn't really think that it was, I didn't set out to make it violent, and actually I didn't think of it as being that violent, in comparison to the sort of...
Oh, it's all necessary.
The Reservoir
the
Dogs sort of level of violence
like
that now exists in films and books. I thought it was relatively tame, but some people have said that. Some people have said that, you know, this is...
Oh, it doesn't put you off it. I mean, it all ties in with the story. I think the shame is it should have your picture on there, because when I was reading it, you see, the character of Thomas Lang, you see, all I could visualise was your face.
Was it really?
That, so you should have had your picture.
Well, you see, I thought that probably wasn't a good thing.
What, to have you
to
on
have my
there?
face. I thought it was, but if we had someone else's face, then it would confuse people. They wouldn't be able to know whether to think of my face or his face, and so they'd end up thinking of nothing, and I thought that was probably better.
His picture is inside, and you're wearing a beard in that one. You really are trying to disown this book.
No, that's...
My friend Anne-Marie back in the office, by the way, she said that she likes you without a beard. So I just
without a beard?
Yes, I just thought
she's
I
a
should
happy
mention
bunny
that to you.
today, now.
That's a compliment.
Oh, you brought it with you?
No, the beard, actually, I was wearing the beard for a part. I've just finished playing one of the villains in 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, yes.
Disney have just done a live version of 101.
One of the baddies, aren't you?
I was one of the baddies.
Yeah.
So children will be going boo hiss.
I was going to say, what do your children think of that? You playing as
Well, I think they're quite sort of, I mean, they're young-ish, but I think they are quite looking forward to it. They're quite into the story, and we've watched the cartoon 1,000,000 times. And
as we have,
will they
yes.
like you after it? Because you're a baddie, you're
well,
do terrible things to all those lovely little doggies.
The thing is that children love baddies. You know, this is the worrying thing, that children do love baddies. I mean, my daughter, who is 2.5, just over 2.5, has an absolute obsession with Cruella.
Oh,
It's really quite alarming,
wonderful
actually.
Woman.
I mean, for weeks and weeks we have to read Cruella every single night, and she'll go, yeah, look, naughty woman like
And I
that.
bet if you miss a bit out as well, she'll pick you up on it. Don't they just? They learn
but
it.
you see, I'm worrying that she pretty soon, you know, at the age of 4 or 5, she's going to start dyeing her hair black and white, and...
She's going to love Daddy after, what is it, Sunday week? You're implicated in a murder, and Murder Most Foul.
Murder Most Horrid.
Most Horrid.
Yes,
Well,
pretty foul, horrible anyway.
Yeah,
Yes.
Pretty foul.
With Dawn
Something
French.
to do with stench, but
That's right, yes, yeah.
You're doing it all.
She's a bit too small to watch that, I think, really, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. But listen,
that's a
we wish you the
watershed.
very best of luck with that book, because I think it's a brilliant good
hope it
read.
goes
As Nanette Newman herself said, she sat and read it on the train. It made her roar with laughter.
As
well, that's
recommended
very
by
kind.
Nanette Newman.
Yes, anyway, so
excellent.
that put across the
And I've read
front.
her book, and it's excellent too. As far as-
Listen, it's super to meet you.
Right.
It's been lovely
Take
to
care.
see
Thank you very much.
It's very
Thanks
nice.
a lot.
Okay, we must move on, sadly. Now, our series on Britain...